Welcome to Hermanas Healing Together, the podcast where we embark on a journey of self-discovery, growth, and healing. I'm your host, Dani Mohr, and today I am thrilled to have a very special guest joining me, Lana Seibert. I had a little bit of a hard time pronouncing her name, and we have rehearsed this for about 15 minutes before recording, so if I get your name wrong, I am so sorry. Lana is a remarkable woman who battled Lyme disease and found her path to healing through IV therapy. Not only did Lana restore her health, but she also started her own business to offer these transformative services to others. I can't wait to hear her story and learn more about the incredible benefits of IV therapy. Lana, it's an honor to have you here. Can you share with us a bit about your personal journey with Lyme disease and the steps you took towards your healing?
Thank you for having me, Dani. I appreciate it. It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm so excited that we get to talk, even though I keep mispronouncing your name.
It's okay. I either get Lana, Lana, or Lana, so I'll answer
Lana,
to anything.
and I did say Lana a few times, so again, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So tell me about this journey dealing with Lyme disease.
So about 10 years ago, I started having just minor symptoms. My thyroid went out, my gallbladder went out, and I just thought it was just normal. Everybody has those issues, but it's not supposed to be that way. And so I progressively was getting more sick, had my fourth child, and then 6 months later, I was even more sick. And so fast forward 2 years, I experienced some major trauma, emotional trauma in my life. And that triggered the Lyme disease.
So did you have Lyme disease already?
I believe I did. Looking after so many years of research and going through all my symptoms, looking back, I think I had it my whole life, but it can stay dormant. Just like viruses can stay dormant in your body. So once Lyme disease or any type of infection goes into your body, you start producing, my brain just went blank, and that's one of my problems, is a lot of neurological issues from the Lyme disease.
Yeah. And you can go blank. That's okay.
You do. I do. And I probably will quite often. But
that's
praise
okay.
God, that's the only thing I'm battling is the neurological issues at this point.
And by all means, give yourself permission, because before we started recording, I also went blank. And I was sharing that with you. And the reason why I have notes is because I need to, it helps me stay focused and on track. But so it got triggered after the emotional trauma.
Yes.
And so what happened next?
So I was bedridden for 6 years. I went
for
from
6 years.
6 years.
That gave me chills.
I couldn't drive because, again, it hit my nervous system so bad that anything, wrappers, just candy wrappers, chip bags, any type of crackling, banging doors, it would just shoot my nervous system into overdrive. Wow. I was a horrible passenger when my husband would drive us somewhere because on the highway, I couldn't go over 55 miles an hour.
Were you terrified?
It created a fear in just the anxiety, the overstimulation, and then it would trigger fear, and I was just like super cautious about my surroundings. The faster we'd go, it's like my body would instantly know if we went over 55 miles an hour.
Wow.
And vehicles passing, you know, just everything was just super overstimulating. And so I didn't really go anywhere except doctor's appointments for those 6, 7, well, for the last, we searched for answers for years. But then when I got really sick is when we really started searching. So I went to a doctor in Fredericksburg and thought she could help me. And finally I had to ask her, I wanted to rule out Lyme disease, lupus, Epstein-Barr, and MS because they all have the same symptoms.
Oh.
And she said, that's a good idea. Let's do that.
Good.
The problem was she sent me to the hospital lab to get my labs ran. For Lyme disease, you can't. It takes a specialty lab to test for that. Eyes have to be on the blood. You can't run it through a computer to get it picked up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
There, you can test for bands, certain bands with certain labs, like LabCorp, but they still aren't as definitive as sending it to IGeneX or other specialty labs that actually specialize in testing for Lyme disease.
So did it come back negative?
The one from the hospital did come back negative, yes. And so that was my first year, and so that was 7 years ago. That was the first year I was sick. And so I was like, okay, no Lyme, no lupus, no MS, Epstein-Barr. 95% of the population in the United States has Epstein-Barr.
I'm not even aware of what that is.
So it's caused by somebody. It's highly contagious. Most people get it from having mono. If you had mono as a child, then you have Epstein-Barr in your body. It sits dormant.
My daughter had mono.
So it sits dormant. And so once something gets triggered in your body from trauma, toxins,
can stress?
Yes. Stress can bring it out. It would take a while for it to manifest, depending on how healthy the person's immune system is. But yeah.
I'm gonna have to research the Epstein-Barr.
Yes. Yeah.
Because if my daughter had mono, you know, I want to know.
Drinking after her, you can get it from drinking after her. You may not have the symptoms of mono.
Wow.
But once you drink, and it can be transmitted.
Wow.
Through saliva. Anyway. Sexual.
I'm gonna have to like look into that.
Yeah. And so
because we are already very neurodivergent in my house, so something like that could possibly
trigger.
Yeah,
it can.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So I just kept researching for the next. I bounced from doctor to doctor to doctor. Told that I needed to see a psychiatrist. Said it was all in my head.
Oh goodness. Wow. And I think that's very common for women to experience.
It is.
We are very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's very fast for women to be labeled that we're crazy.
Okay, it is, and there's a reason behind that. So, in medical school, if a woman comes to you, this is what they're taught. If a woman comes to you with more than 3 symptoms, label her that she needs some type of
psychiatric help.
Yes. And so I know that's horrible.
That is horrible.
Yeah. And
that
that's
we get to
why
be put in this.
That's why we're part of the reason we're in the position that we're in.
And this is going to be a comment that maybe doesn't belong with what we're speaking.
Right.
But for me, like in men, a red flag, if they have talked to me about another female that they have dated or any other female that they know, if the words "she was crazy" comes out, I take that as a red flag.
Yeah.
When men use that labeling for women, I take that as a red flag, because it's like, we go through so many things hormonally throughout basically our entire life.
Yeah.
Our hormones are always, and it's like, why are we normalizing for men specifically, or especially, to call us crazy? And it's something that I work with my son, because I'm hoping that when he becomes older, or right now, that he never calls a woman crazy. But
I agree.
Yeah, I think that needs to be changed.
Yeah.
Because we're not crazy.
No.
Anything. We're empowering and powerful and all the awesome things, because we can juggle so many things at once.
And we do.
We do it so well.
We do.
We may have a few little outbursts and get a little, frustrated, but we can do so many things, and we are great multitaskers.
Absolutely. Totally agree with you.
Yes. On that. But anyways, I drifted. Continue.
So, I went to several other doctors that were really good at helping getting my nervous system realigned. There's a therapy called NOTS therapy. It's neural organizational therapy. That might be something that you might be interested in checking into. Yeah. There's just a handful in the United States that actually do it. And chiropractic care. And that's what I did for years. And I finally found a doctor, because my hormones were way out of balance. And it started when I was 41. I'm getting ready to be 52. So I knew hormonally there was stuff going on too.
Yeah.
And I found a doctor in Houston. I sent him all my paperwork. This is in September of 21. Fast forward to September of 21. I found a wonderful doctor in Houston. And when I walked in the office, he said, okay, I've read through everything that you've sent me. He said, I want to hear what your symptoms are. How are you feeling right now? And I explained to him, I said, I have neuropathy it starts in my feet. But when it hits my head, I have seizures. And it's really scary. And I get overstimulated really easily. And, I can't do the normal household stuff. I can't cook for my kids. I can't clean. I can hardly get off the couch. My husband would have to help me walk to the restroom and walk back, because my equilibrium was so out of balance. And
how was motherhood during that time for you?
What so hard, and it breaks my heart, because my kids lost so many years.
How old were they?
When I first got sick, Josiah was 5.
Young.
Yeah, very young. And then my next one up was a freshman in high school. And I missed all of his years that he desperately needs his mother. I could talk. He'd come and crawl in bed with me, and we'd talk, and have conversations. But I couldn't attend all of his events at school. It's really heartbreaking.
Yeah. Were they understanding?
Completely.
That's good.
And their friends' mothers were absolutely amazing. They stepped in, they disciplined, they loved him. They did everything that I couldn't.
So you had a great support system?
I did. They were awesome.
That's good.
They're really awesome ladies. I couldn't have done it without them.
Yeah.
And then Josiah, he still suffers a lot. He was my, at that time, 5. So the last 10 years, he's 15 now, getting ready to be 16. It affected him the most, because he missed out on a lot. We didn't travel. We didn't You know, I couldn't
Probably
teach him.
couldn't get out, couldn't go out with him.
No, we couldn't go play and have fun. And
if you were like in public, how would that make you feel?
We don't go in public.
There was just no.
There was nothing. I could not function anywhere. It was just too overstimulating. And I have days that I could, and I'm an A-type personality. So if I had a day that I thought, I'm going to try and do this, it would lay me up. I knew I'd be laid up for a week or two if I tried to get out and go do something. And I did, because I needed that. I needed to get out. But it was difficult. So after I gave my symptoms, told the doctor my symptoms, he goes, I think you have Lyme disease. And I said, thank you. I think I have Lyme disease too.
Finally.
Yeah.
Some answers.
Yes. And I knew where I wanted to go. I had a wonderful friend. She is involved. She was one of the third people involved with Young Living.
Okay.
Yes.
That's right up my alley.
Yes.
I love Young Living.
And her husband had cancer.
Oh.
And she had posted on Facebook, she gave us an update on how he was doing, and she put, this place is wonderful. You need to, you know, if you have cancer or Lyme disease, this is what they specialize in. Check them out. And so I knew before I was diagnosed, because I just knew in my heart.
Yeah.
I was dying. It's just I didn't know of what. And I knew it wasn't cancer.
Right.
But something was completely off, and doctors were just misdiagnosing or telling me I'm crazy. And so I called the facility. It's called Invita Medical Centers. They're in Scottsdale, Arizona.
All the way to Arizona you had to go?
Yes.
Wow.
By myself for almost 3 months.
So how was that? Like, did you have to fly? Did you drive?
So I can't fly because of...
Can you do that now or not at all?
I won't. I've ruptured both my eardrums in one flight. I won't ever fly again.
That sounds painful.
It was very painful. I thought my head was going to pop.
Wow.
But so as soon as he told me, he goes, we're going to test you today. So be ready in 10 days. I'm going to call you back with the results. So 10 days later, he called me and goes, are you sitting down? I said, no, I'm driving. And he goes, well, you might want to pull over. And I was like,
that's so scary.
It is.
Sir, please do not deliver the news like that.
But when you're that sick, it's like, just tell me.
Right.
I want answers.
Don't be.
Yeah.
I
said, I'm good. Just tell me. And so he goes, the Lyme came back positive, and I've never seen it this high on any of my patients. I said, thank you. Thank you, Lord. For sending me somebody that knew what he was talking about. I knew I wasn't crazy. I knew I was sick. And when you are sick, you don't want to really be around people. You know, when you feel crummy, you just want to curl up in your bed and be left alone.
Now imagine 10, 20, 30 times more than that.
Yeah, unfortunately. So I called Invita. They said, be here in a week. Me and my husband drove out. I didn't know if I was going to make it out there. I was just like, Lord, just let me get there, and I know I'll be fine.
Yes.
Just because.
Just make it happen, please.
I was allergic to everything, and I'm going off on a rabbit trail, but granite holds radiation.
Granite holds radiation.
Granite, the rock, holds radiation. I'm very, very sensitive to granite. And when you're driving out of Kerrville, you go through a lot of granite. You go through all these power lines on the highway.
Right.
And it messes up my breathing.
Wow.
And I was like gasping for air. And once we hit Ozona, I was okay. My breathing calmed down. My head calmed down. And I was like, okay, we get to Arizona. All granite. You're in a desert of granite. So it took my body a while to adjust to that.
Oh, goodness.
And
That
it was
sounds
kind of
so
scary. But
triggering.
once they started, and this is the amazing part, was getting IV infusions once a week here in Kerrville.
Before you went
Before I went, because I knew I was dehydrated. I was chronically dehydrated, which a lot of people who are sick are chronically dehydrated.
Makes sense.
And I didn't know how to treat myself. The company I was using didn't know how to treat me, but they don't know their vitamins well enough to say, you need this, or, you know,
to make a proper recommendation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we were both just kind of grasping at straws, trying to figure out what's going to make me feel better. Well, just fluids is what we started with. Once I got done in Arizona, or when I went out to Arizona, it was 3 IVs a day, every day for 2.5 months.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. They're in smaller doses.
Okay.
And so they could do
multiple
IVs in one sitting.
Did that make you feel any kind of way right away? Like good or?
Oh, yes. So they said you're going to
difference?
detox, which you do. But of course you take activated charcoal. That helps absorb all the toxins. And so, yeah, I detoxed. When I went in, the first thing I did was boost my immune system, because I was so weak, I wouldn't be able to start the heavy doses unless they did that, because it would just weaken me if they did.
So they had to prep you before all of this.
They did, because I was super sensitive to everything. I had mast cell activation. And so that is where you're allergic to lots of stuff. I was down to 3 foods a day. When I got
like
there.
Your body was constantly trying to fight things off and reacting to things.
Yeah, it was
24/7.
24/7.
How exhausting.
Yeah, and so I had to be real careful not to go into anaphylactic shock. So I had to be careful with everything I was eating. Small portions. Couldn't ever have leftovers, because when you put something in the refrigerator, it creates histamine. Yeah, you learn so much.
I mean, I'm learning from you, because I never heard about the granite and all of that.
Yeah.
I've heard of people being sensitive to like the cell phone towers. And I watched a documentary, and there was this lady, and she was really debilitated by it, that she had to move somewhere where it was pretty like off the grid.
Yes.
In order to like be okay.
And my body was similar to that. It is getting better, but 5G messes me up. I have in my house, I have all these 5G
they're like blockers
units. They're blockers. They're bigger blockers than the little plugins that you see people have in their wall. They will do a radius even outside of your home. And so my home is my little comfort zone. It's where I can my body just relaxes when I'm at home.
So when you go in public, do you feel where it's at?
I can. I have a little blocker that I can keep in my pocket. I can keep it on me.
Perfect.
And it really does help. So anyway, back to Arizona. I got my port put in, and the first night I had it put in, that first day, I felt so good, because as soon as they put the port in, I got 3 infusions, and I felt fantastic. I hadn't felt that good. I guess I just needed the hydration and the antioxidants and
all that good stuff,
all the nutrients that they were pushed into me. I felt so good that day. I was calling on my friends and just having a great day.
Wow.
And in the middle of the night, I woke up to use the restroom, and my heart was racing. I was like, this doesn't feel right. And I ended up passing out, and my blood pressure got down into the 30s.
Oh my goodness.
And luckily my husband was still there. He was going to stay a week with me and then fly back home to take care of our son. And so he's like, after we got back from the hospital, he goes, I'm not leaving for another week. This can't happen again. So he stayed for another week and then flew home. And
so what happened?
I
Was
don't
it
know.
too much at once?
It probably was.
And your body was
Yeah.
probably trying to
It was
catch up.
Yeah. It was. But after that, I did fantastic. And you know, it was a great experience, a great learning experience. I didn't know the vitamins. I didn't know, you know, what I know now.
Right, because you have become a little expert on this field with what you do.
Yes, and I love it.
So how do you get into, is this what got you into the IV treatments?
Yes, and I was getting IVs so frequently. After I left there, I didn't think I needed any more IVs, and that was mistake number one. I just kind of went, I just went cold turkey on everything. Mm-hmm. And then I realized got home so I left in September. My first treatment was like October 4th. And I was there till December 12th. Came home and didn't realize, and I got so busy with Christmas and everything, and I wasn't 100% when I got back, but I was so much better. I could function.
Right.
I wasn't stuck in bed. I could actually function. And then by January, I wasn't doing so great again. And I was like, but it was different symptoms. Mm-hmm. And so what happens with Lyme disease and a lot of infections is it creates a biofilm. And that biofilm is like concrete. Nothing can penetrate it. Antibiotics can't penetrate it. You have to find the right ingredients, natural ingredients, to break down that biofilm before you can start killing off what's inside the biofilm. So all the viruses, fungus, diseases go into that biofilm, and they start communicating with each other. And they all have their own little tests of messing up your body.
Yeah.
And it just progressively gets worse. If you have mold, which I have mold, and I'm still detoxing from it. But with 5G around, mold grows 100,000 times faster because of the frequencies that the 5G puts off. It just causes it to grow.
Likes it.
It does. It loves it. Yeah.
Wow.
Any type of metals in your mouth?
Yeah. That's why I went and because I had fillings since I was a little kid. And I went and got them all out.
Yeah. Nothing will die, especially yeast. You can't get it out of your body until you have the fillings removed. Because your fillings let off a gas, that mercury lets off a gas, and it's absorbed into the system, and those bugs love to eat it. That's what feeds them. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And also, your brain absorbs all those toxins.
Right.
And that's what causes, so as we age, our oxygen, we become slow breathers, whether it's age, stress, trauma. We hold our breath a lot. When we're scared, we hold our breath.
Right.
And so our body's not getting the oxygen it needs at a cellular level. And especially as we age, it gets lower as well. And so you've got to keep up. You've just got to learn how to stay healthy. You've got to learn.
Be good to yourself.
Be very good to your body.
Yourself. We're not.
Yes.
Most of
and
us are
learn
not.
Your body. I'm going through all this. I was surprised at people don't know their bodies and when it yells at you, what it's telling you.
There's not enough awareness.
There's not.
And that's what I always talk about and encourage people to have is awareness, because if they have awareness and they know how to, and neurologically speaking, there are a lot of things that by having awareness, you can learn how to cope with certain things, learn how to make plans for certain things. So whatever triggers you is not affecting you in the way that you don't want it to affect you. Right. And it's like, it's just one of, I can go off on
it's
this,
like we were
but
talking
it's one of the
earlier
things that I show people
about not reacting.
Right.
You don't react like we used to when we were younger.
And part of that is because I have awareness now. I
Exactly.
know what triggers me.
And you know how to pull yourself out of it.
Correct. And I know when I feel, there are times that I feel really sensitive.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I changed my eating habits is because I realized that a lot of my pain or chronic pain, I don't like to use those words because as a hypnotist, anything that we say to ourselves, our brain is going to collect and repeat. So, but the pain that I was experiencing often, aka chronic pain, food triggers that.
Yes.
When I change my eating habits, I heal my rosacea on the face. That gets triggered occasionally.
Yep.
I heal my acid reflux.
Yep.
My constipation.
Yep.
And neurologically speaking, I feel so much better. I could probably still do even better, but I'm content where I am right now. And as I progress, I'm going to dig deeper into that.
Yes.
But there are times that I feel like the foods that I was eating was triggering me neurologically with these symptoms of frustration. I mean, I was the person that couldn't be in public at the grocery store. I felt one time that I was having a whole panic attack at the grocery store and I was going to pass out because in my mind, I felt that the people at the grocery store, this is kind of funny, but my mind made me think this. These are zombies. They're going to enclose me and I'm going to suffocate and die. That was like the mentality that my mind, the image that my mind put of people at the grocery store. It was not safe. But now I don't, I work through that and I don't, it's very rare when I feel triggered, but I also feel that a lot, when I look back, a lot of the things that I was eating were not good foods at all. We're talking about McDonald's. There's a Mexican place here that has this chicken tortilla soup.
Yep.
What do you think all that is filled with? We're not even going to go there, but it's like, oh my goodness. And it's like, I felt like an addict. Like I crave that. And this is all from the pandemic that, the only time that we could do was to go out and drive through and get food, but it wasn't good quality food. It was like, I didn't want to cook because I felt like I needed to get out. I'm like, I don't want to be, stuck in here all day. Let's go have hamburgers. And so then I got stuck where I couldn't get out of those foods. And I told myself for a while, I'm eating healthier. I'm changing my lifestyle. This is happening. Until one day my brain executed it and I went for it. And now it's been 3 months, going on 4 months, and I feel fantastic. So control my bursitis pain, my shoulder pain with it, my other symptoms that I just mentioned. And it's like just by food. Now imagine if I did all the other beautiful things that we have available, like IV treatments. And that's what I wanted to talk about. It's like, I want to talk about the business, your business, because you own Vitality IV.
Yes.
And so what is that all about? Tell us.
That is about helping people get better, heal their bodies. We have different therapies that we can recommend to our clients for specific symptoms.
Yes, I have your menu here, and there's things for like beauty and weight loss, vitamin injections like your B12, CoQ10. That one is a very popular one. D3, especially with flu season that is right around the corner. Go get your D3 immune health shots.
But that's one thing you've got to be careful with. D3,
tell me about it.
Yes, you do need it, but it can become toxic. You can't be getting shots every week every
Oh,
month
wow.
of D3. You've got to watch your levels.
So how do you do that, like in your...
We can recommend,
Okay.
where to go, so you don't have to go through a doctor
Okay.
to have it done. And then once you read it, if it's at a certain level, they need to be, so for a healthy person, your vitamin D should be around 90. If you're chronically ill, it needs to be around 120. And no higher than that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there's also infusions, which those are the actual bags with the IV, right?
That is the
so
IV
all in drip, hangover, you're partying too much.
We got the drip for you.
She has it for you. Hydrate. Myers Cocktail, which is what we are going to be offering. And for our local listeners, we have an upcoming wellness clinic day where Lana is going to be bringing... Did I say it right?
Yes.
Yes, clap. She is going to be coming and setting up here in the office, Caribbean Massage and Healing Arts. And she's going to be offering Myers Cocktail to our wonderful clients. And so if you're a local listener, she's going to be here, and it's July 28th, which is a Friday. And we are looking between 5 and 7 p.m. We can serve 3 people at a time. And so I'm really, really excited to do that. And I wanted to talk about what the Myers Cocktail is, because that's what we're offering. That's what we decided to go with, because there's so much here, but we're going to make it simple and easy. But
so the Myers Cocktail is the base vitamins that we use in every bag, except the hydrate bag, because the hydrate is just normal saline all by itself.
Okay.
But the Myers Cocktail is used in all of our bags. But what the Myers is specific for, it has vitamin C, B complex, B12, calcium. It has magnesium complex.
Nice.
That has magnesium, zinc, several, copper, several different things in it that really helps.
And this is like good for what kind of things? Like,
so low energy.
Oh, I have that.
Allergies.
And here in Texas.
Yes.
That is, can kids do this? I mean, if they're like older and they can sit comfortably.
So the youngest we'll take is 12 years old, because any age, if you're younger than that, they just don't do well with needles.
My daughter has terrible allergies and eczema and all those, which I have cleaned her diet too, and I'm keeping her, trying to keep her away from non-natural sugars because she has a sweet tooth. But ever since I changed her diet, going back to the food, she used to tell me, I need my sugar, Mom. I need my sugar. I'm like, no, you don't. Eat fruit. But now that we have changed the diet, it's more like under control. But she does suffers from allergies. So I was asking because, I mean, I don't know if she'll sit through a bag, but maybe it's something that I could look into doing for her. But what else can it be used for?
So we can use it, athletes use it, exercise.
For recovery?
Both, for performance and recovery.
And recovery. Oh, wow.
Yeah. Chronic fatigue, depression, and anxiety, hangover symptoms. So our body is a whole. So whatever you put into it, it's going to affect your whole body, not just your liver, your kidneys, or, your first symptoms may come from that area, but it's affecting your body as
entirely.
A whole. We don't pick every organ apart.
Gotcha.
Like doctors, you have an endocrinologist, or you have, a nephrologist, or a neurologist.
You see it as a whole.
Yeah, we see the body as a whole, and so we're not aiming for just one target. We're aiming for a complete wellness of both spirit, soul, and body. Because once your body's aligned, then
your
your
energy
mind,
is aligned, your spirit is aligned.
everything.
Oh
gets
yes,
aligned.
that you're speaking my language here, because
Yes.
that's what I dab into. I love talking about things like that.
Mhm.
So, but then there's other things that you offer, because we have spoken about the NAD, and that's
Ye-
like, you know,
Okay. So the Myers is not in the NAD.
Right.
I misspoke. So it's the hydrate and the NAD that don't have Myers in it. NAD
Gotcha.
has to be infused all by itself. And NAD is absolutely amazing. I healed my thyroid from it, using it.
And you don't do medications anymore for the
I'm
thyroid?
on no medications at all now.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are you guys listening to this? Healing is possible, and this is what we're doing here, is just bringing other concepts into your life, into your ears, so you can listen and your brain can tell you that you need to do these kinds of things, because there are other ways besides what we know. The Western world, in my opinion, is great to some extent, but it doesn't completely heal.
For emergency situations,
good.
We have to have it.
Correct.
But for health, preventative, for healing the body, we're not covering up symptoms. We're not just managing them. We are fixing the root cause.
Exactly. And that's what's important. And I know when we talked last time on the phone, we were talking about the NAD, and that one seemed like I was personally interested in that.
Yes.
Because I don't know if I'm wrong, but does it do something neurologically as well?
It does. So it has a lot of there goes my brain again.
It's okay.
We're talking about NAD.
We're just breathing.
It has
breathing
tremendous.
I remember you said that it can help like replenish your cells, your tissues.
It replenishes stem cells, or it gives them a boost. And every cell in your body needs NAD. It is the powerhouse to your mitochondria. And so it does. It helps with it. It detoxes. We'll start out small. It detoxes your body.
That's a big one already.
It is.
Yeah.
It crosses the blood-brain barrier. It.
Could this even be, since you said that it detoxifies, somebody that's suffering from maybe addictions or
it's used
can it
for
help
addictions.
for that?
Absolutely. So when giving in high doses to somebody who is trying to detox from either alcohol or drugs, it helps decrease the symptoms of detoxing.
Yes, because I've seen those on documentaries, and they're
scary.
They look pretty rough.
Yeah. It decreases the symptoms in that, and then it also helps with the cravings. So even with food cravings, it's supposed to help cut back on the food cravings.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So we have Vitality IV, and the best way that they can come in contact with you?
They can call me at 830-777-9871, or they can go to our website at www.vitalityivtherapy.com.
And they can make an appointment there on the website?
Book. Yes, there's a form there, the intake and consent form. When you click on book, it'll take you to that form. You fill that out, submit it to me, and I will contact you with the day and time.
Perfect. And you serve people in their homes? Like, how does this work?
We do. We'll come to their homes, or they can come to me, whichever they're most comfortable with.
And is this, can you do groups as well if they want to have a group?
Absolutely. And we give discounts for group.
This is like a great girls' night, get together, wellness girls trip. Hermanas, this is for you. So again, if you are a local listener, we're having this wellness clinic, and there's going to be a follow-up email that I'm going to send. If you are not in my email list, you may want to get on it. Just saying. You can send me an email at Dani Mohr at curvillmassageandhealingarts.com, and I can get your information so I can put you in the email newsletter. But what I'm going to do for easy and more convenient way for you to sign up is I'm going to, in the description of this episode, I'm going to add a link that will take you straight to my newsletter. So you can drop your email there and you will receive the upcoming newsletter with all the details on how to book your IV treatment for this wellness clinic that we are hosting here at Curvil Massage and Healing Arts. Lana, thank you so much for sharing your inspiring journey and providing insight into the incredible world of IV therapy. I am grateful to have you on Hermanas Healing Together, and I'm sure our local listeners will be eager to connect with you and explore the benefits of Vitality IV therapy. And mark your calendars, because again, the Wellness Clinic is coming. So stay tuned for more uplifting stories and healing discussions. And until next time, again, thank you so much. I'm giving you an air hug from here.
Yes.
Stay healthy and keep healing. Beautiful hermanas. Bye-bye.